All right, let's just dive right in. Welcome to today's explainer. Look, if you've been trying to keep up with the absolute chaos of AI news this week, well, I want you to imagine we're just flipping through a personal, handwritten journal of the AI revolution together. Today, we are going to organize all that chaos. We're looking at massive updates from Google, a literal token war between two AI giants, and AI actually stepping off our screens and onto our physical desks.
Think of this as our table of contents for today's journal entries. We'll hit 1. The Gemini Notebook evolution. 2. AI entering the physical world. 3. Upgrading the Google ecosystem. 4. The big token war. And 5. Why the future is inevitable.
So, let's flip to Chapter 1, the Gemini Notebook evolution. This tool has had quite the journey, hasn't it? It started out as just this scribbled idea by a few Googlers called Project Tailwind. Then, when it actually proved to have some real legs, they almost called it Google Notebook, but I guess they felt it was a bit too early for such a massive title. So it became Notebook LM. But today, it is officially graduating. It's being deeply integrated right into the Gemini brand and is now officially Gemini Notebook. It's the exact same research and organization powerhouse you already love, but this new name really proves it's no longer just some side experiment. And with this graduation comes a massive wave of new agentic features. Previously, these were locked behind an Ultra subscription, but these huge upgrades are now rolling out to all pro users on the web. We are talking access to Gemini 3.5 and anti-gravity capabilities. Basically, that means it can now seamlessly float your data across different Google Workspace apps without breaking your flow. Add in a cloud computer that's literally writing code in the background on your sources, and you can now output PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoints, even PNG images directly inside the chat. It's totally transformed from a static notebook into a highly proactive research agent. But they didn't just stop at the big flashy stuff. They basically went through the community wish list and checked it all off. Folders, which, let's be real, was the #1 requested feature to organize different notebooks, those are coming very soon. You can also just pin your most important notebooks to the top, kind of like bookmarking a page in a physical journal. Plus, any sources you have sitting in a Google Drive like a doc will now automatically stay in sync. Game changer for sure. All right, turn in the page to Chapter 2. AI enters the physical world. First up here is OpenAI's very first foray into actual physical hardware. It's called the Codex Micro, built with a company called Work Louder. Now, this is a physical pad with buttons, a little joystick, and a knob that you literally map to your AI workflows. And the feedback loop here is fascinating. The buttons actually light up in different colors based on your AI agent status, like, when a task is running or when it's waiting for your approval. Now, it's sold out super quickly. And yeah, it might be a bit of a gimmick for power users right now, but the crucial takeaway is that it signals exactly where OpenAI is heading. AI you can physically touch. But if you're looking for physical AI hardware that is purely practical for knowledge work right this second, there's really only one number that matters, and that is 4.2. That's 4.2 millimeters. That is the unbelievable thickness of the iFlytek AI Note 2, which currently holds the Guinness World Record for the thinnest e-ink tablet. This device is honestly the ultimate blend of our handwritten journal theme and cutting-edge AI. It weighs just 295 grams, so it feels incredibly close to actual paper when you're using the stylus. But get this, it transcribes conversations in real time across 18 languages, translates 14 languages instantly, and then uses GPT-5 to turn those transcripts into beautifully structured summaries with actionable items. You can literally turn your messy handwritten notes into clean digital text and even have the AI schedule the next steps directly on your calendar based on your meetings. It's practically the perfect physical companion if you're feeling overwhelmed by the sheer speed of today's tech. Moving right along to Chapter 3, upgrading the Google ecosystem. So Google is taking two very distinct approaches here. First, we have Gemini Spark. Think of this as your 24/7 cloud agent. It doesn't even need your computer to be turned on. It works across the whole ecosystem, opening and editing docs, reading comments and sheets and slides, and it's rolling out pretty soon for pro members at 50% faster speeds. Then, on the other side, there's Gemini in Chrome, which is actively rolling out in the UK right now. Instead of doing background work, this is your active assistant. It just sits right there in your side panel, ready to summarize, compare, and answer questions about literally all the web tabs you currently have open. And the glue holding all of this together is personal intelligence. Google is linking your Gmail, Docs, Keep, Drive, Tasks, Calendar, YouTube, and Photos entirely with Gemini. And now this massive interconnected web is available via AI mode directly inside Google Search. So why does this actually matter to you? Well, it means if you ask a question in search, it can generate a highly tailored response based on your existing plans and then instantly drop a meeting invite directly onto your calendar. It's all about making absolutely everything work together seamlessly. We've also got a fantastic quality of life update for developers using Google AI Studio. Instead of sharing some long, messy, totally generic link to an app you've built, you can now claim clean, memorable custom URLs. It makes sharing your AI creations infinitely easier. Oh, and a very quick side note for our focused learners out there who are tracking model releases, the highly anticipated Gemini 3.5 Pro was rumored to drop, but it looks like it hit a slight delay. Don't worry though, we will absolutely cover it the second it launches.
All right, Chapter 4, The Big Token War.
So the crucial thing to understand right now is that these companies are fighting tooth and nail to keep you on their platforms. Take Anthropic. Their incredibly powerful Fable 5 model was supposed to be restricted on July 7th, but then they pushed it to the 12th. Then they extended it again to the 19th. There are even rumors flying around that they're trying to make it permanent on standard subscriptions.
So why the sudden generosity, right? Well, because OpenAI released their highly capable GPT 5.6 model and entirely removed their 5-hour desktop usage limit. They just kept resetting the weekly limits, basically giving users unlimited access. And not to be outdone, Anthropic literally reset their limits on the exact same day. I mean, it is a pure token war right now.
And this brings us to a pretty stark reality check. Both of these companies are giving away massive amounts of compute at what are, frankly, completely unsustainable prices. The true cost of running these models far exceeds what we're paying for our subscriptions right now. So what's the takeaway for you? Honestly, don't stress about picking a side. Pick one, or use both, and just ride this wave. Maximize your productivity and your budget right now, because eventually the resets are going to stop, the prices will adjust, and those limits will definitely return. Basically, use it while the window is wide open.
Which brings us to our final chapter. The future is inevitable.
If you recall those massive AI updates back in January, they were amazing, right? But they were primarily a huge leap for coders and developers. What we're seeing right now, though, is a significant jump for non-technical people. These models have become so unbelievably reliable at knowledge work that we can confidently delegate actual, meaningful tasks to cloud agents like Claude Cowork and ChatGPT work. And the best part, because they run entirely in the cloud, you can execute entire, complex workflows right from your smartphone. It's just an incredible, tangible boost to everyday productivity.
I really want to anchor today's explainer with this quote from George Lucas, who recently declared that AI is the future of filmmaking. As he so simply put it, it's inevitable. And sure, while he was specifically talking about Hollywood, that exact same sentiment applies perfectly to everyday knowledge work. The acceleration we've seen just this month alone proves that these tools aren't just some passing phase, you know? They are the new foundation of how we work. Which leaves us with one final thought to close out our journal today. The AI revolution has been written. Are you holding the pen? Look, if you aren't actively integrating these tools, these notebooks, these cloud agents, this whole ecosystem into your daily life right now, you really run the risk of being left behind. The technology is here, that window of nearly unlimited access is wide open, and it is time to start writing your own chapter. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep learning.